everybody, welcome back. This is HD, and SCV there, not going to go mine the minerals as he needed to do right away. But this is game number 2 between Straylock and Damaga in the HD World Tournament Grand Finals. What a first game, and here we are in game number 2. Straylock not really doing the best, at least not as good as I thought he would in game number 1. Unfortunately, that worker's kill tab really showed that Damaga was dominating Straylock with, I believe, like 30 plus workers killed, and Straylock with only a measly 1. And really, that kind of sets the tempo for the game. I've realized now, if a Terran player doesn't kill off any drones at all and just lets the Zerg player macro up, especially a player like Damaga, you are in some deep doo-doo. So we'll see if Straylock's going to be able to pick up the pace this time around. Maybe he can make put those Blue Flame Hellions to better work, or do something, because game 1 was a bit of a fiasco for our Terran player. And if you're a Terran fan, then well, things are not looking too good for you today. But it is a best of 7 series. This is game number 2, and it looks like both players have decided to play on Tal'Darim Altar. Actually, the loser gets to pick, so that means that Straylock decided to play on Tal'Darim. A little interesting that he would pick such a big map, especially when I feel like big maps tend to favor not the Zerg, but Damaga. Any big map is Damaga's playground, and he sets up his swings, he sets up the slides, he romps around in the sandbox, and he crushes anyone that dares to invade on his territory. And man, Tal'Darim Altar is one of the big ones. So we'll see what happens this time around, and we'll see if what the strategy here for Straylock is, because I know Damaga is going to go straight for a hatchery, and indeed, there it is. There's a hatchery going up inside the natural. I would not be surprised for Damaga to grab a quick third over here at the 12 as well. That is typically where most Zergs decide to get it at, or they can even destroy the rocks here and grab it there as well. But I do know for a fact that Damaga will be going for a very macro-based game. Straylock here, his SCV in a little bit of trouble here, calling on for help by another SCV, and his little butt buddy comes in here to help repair / kill off that drone. And ooh, Damaga almost killing off that SCV. It almost seems like everything is going great for Damaga, and he is giving chase to the SCV right now. Both the drone and the SCV at 10 hit points apiece, finally deciding, thinking better of it and turning away. But Damaga seems to be getting a bigger piece of the pie, and a better tasting piece of the pie every time these two trade off. I mean, getting 30 workers, getting all the Hellions killed, killing off the early Reaper. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Here comes the Reaper once again. SCV already in front. Gonna charge headlong into the natural expansion, and it does see the creep starting to move out as well as the hatchery. And it's going to move right into the main, and we do have 6 Zerglings, guys, on the way. And those 6 Zerglings are going to surround that SCV instantly. Oh, man. Damaga. Nothing really going bad for Damaga here. And here comes the Reaper. Is it going to get picked off by Zerglings as well? No, it will not. Straylock wisely maneuvers it down the cliff to get away from those 5 Zerglings. Very smart right there. Not making the same careless mistake he made in game number 1. And let's look at the APM for both these players. Obviously, both of them high caliber. 200 APM for Damaga, with Straylock trailing at 145, but that's still quite a bit. And one thing about pro gamers is they really put that APM to effective use. They don't use ineffective APMs. Well, mostly don't. Some of them do, but not all of them. Straylock obviously not one of them, putting 150 APM to every single effective action possible that actually means something, rather than just spamming around and clicking boxes. And here comes 2 Reapers. They are just dancing around a little bit. Damaga wisely only keeping 3 drones at the natural. Why? This actually keeps his natural more safe from those Reapers. Until he can get more Queens and more Zerglings out, he doesn't want to risk losing drones at the natural expansion. So really smart play right there by Damaga, who is still ahead by 3 Harvesters. Straylock immediately grabbing his natural expansion as expected, and back over at his main, he looks like he is going for the same build once again. We are going to be seeing Mass Factory, Blue Flame Hellions, about 8 Hellions coming out, and I don't know if that strategy is going to work on this map. I feel like this map actually is much easier for the Zerg to defend against Blue Flame Hellions, and the reason for that is because your creep spread covers this area right here very effectively, rather than Crevasse, which has a much wider ramp and wider opening in my opinion. So I think Damaga will be able to deal with Blue Flame Hellions pretty easily. And he's got Zerglings coming in here, and he is going to get a slip right on by the bunker, and he's going to be able to get right inside the main, too, as a Supply Deep was trying to raise up, but not enough to block off the Zerglings, and the Zerglings are going to get in here. If they can kill off this first Hellion, that would be another pretty bad blow to Straylock, because he loses one of his Hellions, and on top of that, his entire strategy once again revealed, and we have more Zerglings streaming into the main of Straylock. Straylock, his whole world is tumbling down, and his dreams are being shattered right now. He's going to lose so many SCVs as the 3 Hellions coming out of the factories might be able to save the day, but wow, Straylock has just lost yet again. Way too many SCVs. He's at 23 under 39 workers killed, showing 11 harvesters killed for Straylock. He is really at a big disadvantage right now in Damaga. It's his turn to capitalize as he did in game number 1. I would not be surprised to see Damaga, well, he has 2 options. Either go for a bunch of expansions right now because he knows he's way ahead, or just charge all in with everything he's got. And interestingly, he is building quite a bit of Zerglings. I think this may be just to defend against the counterattack though. And here we are, 6 Hellions, not 8. And why? That's because a couple of them went down in that all-in bust by Damaga. So really, this is why getting those Zerglings in and doing the damage you need to do can compound so heavily in StarCraft 2. And Straylock now, he cannot go in because there's a spine crawler here, there's creep everywhere, those Hellions are as good as dead. It looks like Straylock though is gonna wait for more Hellions, and he drops a comsat, wisely receding the creep. Oh, he's not gonna care though, he's gonna run in, and he's gonna try to get inside the main. Damaga here in a little bit of trouble, has to pull drones off the line. 5 Hellions now clumped up in the middle, and a Infestor comes out to end the day. That fungal growth locks down the rest of those Hellions and keeps them from running away. And really only a queen and a couple of drones casualty. Workers kill tab. Only 1 worker killed for Straylock. And that is sad. That is not good for our Terran player, who now really has no units whatsoever. He's lost all his Hellions, but boldly and maybe bravely, maybe a little insanely as well, is going to go ahead and go straight into a 3rd command center. I like it and I hate it at the same time. I mean, if this pays off, if he can get a 3rd and get that mining going while he's very low on units, then it can definitely pay off. But he is behind in the supply right now, 55 under 68. He does have a couple Hellions moving around just to scout out as Damaga quickly maneuvers his way over to a 3rd expansion. He's got his Zerglings pouncing on those rocks and taking it down. Already got poop going on to, I guess, make the home a little bit nicer for the hatchery once it comes there. And Damaga is just going to play a very macro-based game as usual. Not going to capitalize on what seems to be a surefire win right now for Damaga, who's just, I feel like, so far ahead in so many ways. But here we go, Zerglings once again to defend against these 2 Hellions. There are Infestors in the back. If those Hellions take a break to fire too much, those Infestors will catch up. But with only 1 Hellion left, that Hellion is sure to go down. And Damaga is just looking great, guys. He's got 28 more Zerglings coming out right now. And the units tab, let's just take a look at that. We have 2 tanks already out for our Terran player Straylock, so those tanks will come in handy. And 13 Marines, but these Marines lack the shield upgrade. In fact, if we pull up that production tab, Straylock is just now starting the stim pack upgrade and the weapons upgrade, and that just shows if you're going for early Hellions, you really forego your option of getting those early bio units to help fortify your forces. And so right now Straylock doesn't really have the backbone bio, which does the DPS that Terran players need against Zerg players, and that does leave him quite vulnerable, especially this 3rd right here. Thankfully, it is a planetary fortress, so Damaga's options for attacking that right now with just pure Zerglings is quite limited. But this planetary, I have to say, is actually going to help Straylock quite a bit. He needs his 3rd, and like I said, a little boldness mixed with a little courageousness and insanity may just pay off. Straylock doesn't look like he's going to get attacked at the 3rd, and he's going to be able to grab the minerals and the gas there free of charge. So not bad by Damaga, who back at home is now pumping out dropships, dropping down more barracks, we're going to be seeing some pretty heavy bio transition, in my opinion, along with tanks and maybe some Thors to mix it in with. We'll see what happens. But he is almost certainly not going to move out until he's got a maxed out army, because he's got to cover this planetary and the natural in the main. So right now it's Damaga's game, I feel, to go ahead and grab as many expansions as he pleases. He's got an Ultralisk Cavern coming out, and he does have 3 bases. So it would not surprise me to see Damaga just play the standard macro, pick up 2 or 3 more bases, and once he's got enough economy, start to roll out with a large Ultra army. And hold that thought, Straylock is going to be pushing out here. This is a little bit unexpected. His tanks have no upgrades. His Marines just now finishing shields and +1 weapons, so thankfully those Marines are pretty much as far upgraded as they can get at this point in the game. But I feel like this is a bold one by Straylock. This can either pay off huge or it can cost him the game. And he's walking into a bunch of Lings and Infestors. Thankfully, no Ultras yet. They do have, the Zerg player does have Creep though, and that's going to help immensely. But right now, I think it is a pretty decent timing to attack before those 5 Ultralisks come out. Once those Ultralisks come, Straylock is going to have to fall back, and he's going to have to go into pure defense mode. He's actually hesitating right now. He's deciding, he doesn't know if he wants to push in. He may be hesitating. And those 5 Ultralisks are nearing completion, about 40 seconds away from finishing up. And I think that Straylock, his window of opportunity there, just a slight one, may have just passed. He does have a lone Marine here just to try to grab the Xel'Naga Watchtower, and actually picks off a couple creep tumors before they were able to implant themselves in the ground. So not bad right there. But like good cancer, it's always spreading. It's unstoppable, and Damaga, he is spreading that cancer all over the map. It's a cancerous growth. It's unstoppable. And hold that thought, we actually have a dropship here in the top corner. I don't know if that dropship actually was able to get any kills off. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, only 1 worker killed for Straylock. So Straylock trying to get a little bit creative here with the dropship. I like that, but it doesn't seem to have paid off too well. Damaga is just on top of every single corner of this game. And Straylock right now is pushing in across the creep, dropping down those comsats to try to evaporate and recede the creep a little bit, which is going to help. And he's using this small patrol army of Marines to do it with. Brings in a dropship to evacuate 2 lucky Marines. The rest of their brothers will die in combat. And Damaga here does have, oh man, 2 weapons on his Ultras and Lings. My goodness, I don't know if Damaga, if Straylock can handle 2 upgrades. He's trying to get creative once again with that dropship in the back, hoping that Damaga is not paying attention right now, but I'm almost sure that Damaga will pull his drones away. Yeah, only losing 2 or 3, keeping the casualties to a minimum, and it looks like Straylock is gonna just be content to continue firing as he's pushing in across the center, trying to distract Damaga here. Both players, both battles actually occurring simultaneously, and the hallmark of any good player is being able to attack at simultaneous positions. Damaga, or Straylock, immediately moving into the main here, which is already covered by 4 spine crawlers. Good night, those Marines are not gonna be able to do any damage. And Straylock also trying to creep up a little bit slowly but surely with his tanks. If he can get below this natural, that would be serious hurt for Damaga. Damaga not gonna allow that though, as he moves in with all of his Ultras and his Lings. And these Ultras and Lings, I think, should be able to clear up the tanks quite easily. It's a front line of Ultras. These guys are all big offensive tackles, and they're just gonna push the entire tank line and wipe it apart. And Damaga stands victorious. I'm pretty sure the Marines and the dropship harass completely failed. I don't even see the dropship anywhere, which means it might have even been taken out. Oh, there it is, the dropship. So it is gonna come back, but all the Marines basically died. So that the medic driving that, I believe it's a medic that drives the dropships, having a lonely flight back. Straylock is rebuilding a little bit. He has some more Marines and tanks, but he has seriously given up his positional control of this game. Damaga right now is looking really good. He has his entire huge Ultra Ling Infestor army in the center of the map, grabbing a 4th expansion right now, and he's anticipating the command center here, moving down to the 6 o'clock, is actually not going to move in. I think he may be waiting for the command center to land and SCVs to come before he attacks it. And he's actually gonna barrel right into the choke of Straylock. I don't know if this is gonna pay off, but that is a lot of Ultralisks. I think it actually will. Way too many Ultralisks here for Straylock to handle, and this could be a quick 2-0 for Damaga to move on to game 3. What a huge advantage. Straylock, though, trying to hold on, but the Marines just getting cracked by the fungal growth. And that is why fungal growth is so deadly against those Marines. Oh man, it just almost one-shots them, and now the Ultras are inside the natural and the main. Good night, and the Infested Terrans come out, and I do not see Straylock coming out of this a victor. Infested Terrans. Oh man, the Terran Crusade moving out to free the world from the Zerg, and of course to free the world from Infested Terrans, but Damaga has other plans as he spawned Infested Terrans inside a Terran's base. The ultimate humiliation, and Straylock calls GG. And in fact, we did have a drop up here, so I missed another drop ship. Darn it. But it looks like Straylock did try to drop up here, but I don't think these Marines, yeah, they didn't get any kills at all, so there wasn't even any drones to kill there. But Damaga takes a quick 2-0 lead in this series, and things are just getting heated up. Can Straylock bring it back? Can he recover and bring this into a closer matchup, or is he just going to get dominated and steamrolled by Straylock? Let's move on to game number 3 and find out. HD signing out.